Les here, reporting from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. It is a beautiful city we have here, but we do have a few problems, and one of the major problems we have is, of course, the opioid crisis. Full-blown opioid crisis on our streets. I've been working in the field of addictions for over 40 years now, and when I started, there was heroin users, but it was not a big deal. I could go downtown anywhere, and I might see, on a rare occasion, I might see somebody fixing in a back lane or an alleyway or in a door someplace, and it was not a big crisis at all. And anyway, now I can't hardly walk down that same street. It's so full of people living on the street, passed out on the street, selling whatever on the street. And it goes on for block after block after block of people homeless, destitute, and feeling helpless and hopeless, totally dependent on legal and illegal drugs. And so, over those years, from the early 90s and so on, looking for solutions, I went down I heard about them doing an odd treatment down in Portland, Oregon, and I went down there with a friend and discovered harm reduction. Up here it was abstinence-based model, and it was ugly. It was brutal. It was violent. It was condescending. It was judgmental. And it was a most unpleasant place to work. Staff were unhappy, and clients were pretty unhappy and hopeless as well. I could have put a sign on the door saying, "We recycle," and that's all we did. And anyway, down in Portland, introduced to the National Acupuncture Detox Association protocols. And they're simply a form of acupuncture where you put needles in the ears, 5 needles in each ear, and well, not only that, they had drug courts, they had housing for wet, damp, and dry, and so on. Harm reduction. And up here, pain and misery. But anyway, so I had that acupuncture session, and it transformed my life. I felt grounded, I felt connected, I have to admit, I felt euphoric. And I thought everybody should have this kind of therapy available to them. So I came back to Canada. I pillaged and plundered the place for everything I could find there, came back and started promoting. Several years later, we had Vancouver City Police, we had city councillors, we had directors and managers of programs going down there to learn about this harm reduction concept. What's that about? And we did a pilot study here with acupuncture, very successful, and we started doing it in a number of government-funded facilities, and it was great. We had people coming up and showing us how to do this amazing therapy. And it was good. And I ultimately became a registered acupuncturist as a result of that experience. But I kept on learning, and as I kept on learning, situations on the street were continuing to worsen. And I became committed to learning many, many different types of therapies and integrative medicine therapies, complementary alternative therapies. That was my focus, and I have successfully used many good, effective alternative therapies that nobody else currently uses. Because I was in the thick of things, treating pain and misery on a regular daily basis. Sitting all night to try to keep people staying in detox because their pain was so acute and their craving was so intense that they would just up and leave no matter what we did. And so I kept on learning. And over the years I learned a technique. It's called Bio-electrode Therapy. And based on my learning of Chinese medicine and meridians and qi and all that, what I did was combine bioelectricity with Chinese medicine meridians. And it was a gradual process of learning how to place electrodes on different parts of the body. I learned Korean hand therapy to begin with, simply using your hand and placing electrodes on the fingertips, those called tong style acupuncture, and Korean hand therapy. It was very successful for treating pain. Finally, I developed a full-grown all-meridian method to treat not only all kinds of addictions, acute withdrawal from opioids of all kinds, methadone, you name it, morphine, but also complex pain problems. And give me a problem and give me 5 minutes and you'll be relieved of all your discomfort and all your pain. It's possible. And I believe this is a solution, or at least a part of a solution. We still need outpatient counseling. We need detoxes. We need treatment centers to help people, supportive, clean settings. But from my perspective, by incorporating a simple therapy which costs almost nothing, you can alleviate most pain problems, if not all pain problems. The blend of bioelectricity with Chinese medicine meridians theory and practice. I mean, the meridians are simply pathways of least electrical resistance. And that's the Chinese have known this for, several thousand years, 5,000 years. They call it qi. I would call it the electrical fields of the body. And we put on electrodes which create the electrical field which circulates through our closed circuit, which I would be using as the Chinese meridian system. And bingo, you're relieved of pain. Identify a pain problem. Could be a toothache, or it could be a frozen shoulder, or it could be a migraine, or could be withdrawal, opiate withdrawal, or crack withdrawal, or alcohol withdrawal. And you identify, well, we can do the all-meridian method, and it takes care of the entire body, and you will be painless. And I believe this, strongly believe, and I'm committed to this, and I have been for 20 years, but I can't get people I can get all my clients to do it. And they're thrilled. They're relieved of pain, and they can get through the detox process and treat any particular pain that they have. But it's not being acknowledged. Nobody has the curiosity even to look, because I guess they're satisfied with the status quo. But I am not. How can anybody with a conscience be satisfied with the status quo? They're not willing to look beyond what is right now a business model. Medicating, maintenance, and the conditions out in the street are just worsening. People are dying here in the province, at least 6, 7, 8 people a day. Across the province, and actually, let's face it, across America and across the world, even worse. And I believe that if they incorporate a very simple technique of bio-electrode therapy, they can get people to embrace sobriety. They can come in and they won't be so afraid of going through the misery of detox, withdrawal management, and so on. And then they can get, they can get into treatment, and they can get into counseling, and they can get clean and help other people do the same, because anybody can learn this method. All you have to do is look at an illustration and see where to put the electrodes, gold and silver, or silver and copper, and it creates an electrical circuit which will clear the meridians, which will clear the pain, and using all the meridians you clear all the pain. It's so simple, and it's so cheap. And I've tried for 20 years to get a research project happening, and nobody seems to be interested. They seem to be satisfied with the status quo. And I'm bewildered. I really am bewildered, and I'm heart sick that I can't get this accepted, acknowledged, and embraced so you can help people on a big scale. And I do it for free. I do it all the time. Every day I do this provided service relatively free. And anybody can do this. So I intend to do a YouTube clip every day. Could be TikTok, videos and so on, and just show people and try to convince people, because I can't convince people from the top down. They're just not willing to go there. But maybe if I can get people from the ground up to see it, to try it, to believe it, and do it, let's try to escape from this human miserable condition. Anyway, so look forward to seeing you again on future videos. Thank you. Bye.